Dear Adriana, thank you for your email and for extending it to the leader of the University of Edinburgh and to your colleagues. I will do the same by further extending it to more people and publishing on the social media because this dialogue is the basis to address and resolve inconsistencies, requiring more people take responsibility in expressing their opinion. However, you did not respond to my legitimate, pertinent question on behalf of cancer patient and taxpayer. In my previous letter, I reported very clear, irrefutable facts that a person dear to me, like millions of other people in the same situation, went through a lot of pain and suffering because there is no affordable, effective test covering all organs of the body that could detect in 4 to 10 years a primary tumor at the appendix of a 2.5 centimeter with over 2 billion cancer cells. I ask you a very simple question. If you and your reviewer understand when reading an abstract reporting calculations, scientific observation, and evidence, what works and what doesn't work in reducing cancer death and healthcare costs. I ask if you can understand which abstract submitted to the Total Body PET conference has more potential to reduce cancer deaths and costs. Well, to this question, your answer was, your abstract has been accepted as a poster presentation based on independent peer review scores. So notice, peer review scores, not saying anything scientific, just a score. This continues to keep my life-saving 3D CBS invention, together with the 3D flow and the TB CAD, out of the forum for a discussion and consideration by influential scientists who decide the future of medical imaging. The poster implies zero-time presentation to the audience at the meeting and hiding even the title of my abstract from the public on the TB PET, Total Body PET website, and is not included in the program with all other presentations until the conference date. So, dear Adriana, do you really want to go back 500 years when all the influential scientists and decision makers gave a score, like you did, to suppress Galileo's book, The Dialogue Concerning the Two Chief World Systems? That was the comparing the Copernican, that is the heliocentric system, with the traditional Ptolemaic geocentric system. This is because they didn't want to address the issue. So they just suppressed the book for 100 years. Galileo was supporting his claims with calculation, observation, scientific evidence, while the entire scientific community and the decision makers of his time did not want to address scientifically this issue. They just suppressed his book for 100 years. And here I provided the link. But science, it means the laws of nature, no matter all the effort the entire scientific community and the decision maker will put to suppress it, at the end prevailed, and after 500 years, the church apologized for the mistake they made in the way they treated Galileo. Likewise, I have supported my claims with scientific evidence, with calculation in my book, article, documents, emails. But you and your colleague during the past 20 years have used underhanded action to suppress my invention from being discussed and in a public forum among the influential decision makers in the field. Like at this conference, that you approve my abstract, but you keep me away from presenting it to the audience at the meeting and discussing at the forum. Your co-chair of this Total Body PET conference, Stefan Wanderberger, at the 2018 Total Body PET conference in Ghent, Belgium, promised he would have addressed the issues of what technical advancements and PET design can offer a greater reduction in cancer death and healthcare costs. That I wrote in 3 pages in 2018, because at that time my abstract was rejected from any form of presentation. However, after 3 years, he never did. I'm still waiting for his response. Now, on September 17, just 2 days ago, the Wall Street Journal published an article titled "Former Theranos Chemist Says Elizabeth Holmes was aware of testing failures." I don't know if you are familiar with the scandal and the scam of Elizabeth Holmes that now is on trial, okay? For her deliberate suppression of transparency, suppression of the scientific truth, and deceiving the public that caused much less suffering and death than the 21 years suppression of my book and my invention 3D Flow and 3D CBS from being presented and discussed at forum and scientific conference, Elizabeth Holmes now she's facing up to 20 years of prison. And you just listen, all the television, newspaper are talking about this. You just Google Elizabeth Holmes and you will see all what she did. She just deceived, not suppressing the scientific truth. As the scientific truth emerged in the case of Galileo, that the Earth is not at the center of the universe. In the case of Elizabeth Holmes, that she deliberately lied and deceived the public about a statement that she knew were not scientific. Also, the scientists who suppressed my invention for 21 years with rejection claims that were not scientific and have caused the needless suffering and death of millions of people and wasted trillions of dollars, will they face the same sort of apologizing? Not to me, but more important to those who suffer and the family who lost their dear ones? As the church apologized to Galileo, or facing up to 20 years in prison as Elizabeth Holmes is facing? Will these scientists who suppress my invention declare themselves incompetent in making calculation and understanding the data from scientific evidence, or interrogation of witness like in the case of Elizabeth Holmes now will prove that they were competent and understood what works and what doesn't work in saving lives and cost, and they deliberately choose the latter to fulfill their different agenda that will turn out to be breaking the law? No one can suppress forever science, the laws of nature. In 2019, after 19 years, measurement on a less efficient and more costly copy of my 3D CBS invention proved that my calculation and claim in my book of the year 2000 that could detect cluster, means a tumor with fewer than 100 cancerous cells, were correct. 5, 10, 20 or more years from now, my calculations and claims that the 3D Flow and the 3D CBS can provide a more cost-effective device capable to accurately capture all possible valid signal from the tumor marker at the lower cost per valid data capture compared to alternative approaches, providing the most cost-effective early cancer detection. And the 3D Flow combined with the 3D CBS device will enable affordable $200 test requiring a very low radiation, that together with the total body computer-aided diagnosis can save more lives and lower healthcare costs through an effective early cancer detection will again be proven experimentally. So why do we need to wait all this year, 5, 10, 20 years or more to prove this, and we cannot just make the test and do it tomorrow, okay? Adriana, you should realize that yours and your reviewer score evaluating an abstract is not the final judge because of your authority. In science, the authority is the result from an experiment which can prove you wrong. Therefore, you should welcome and accept myself or anyone who tries to help you to understand the laws of nature, so you will avoid being proven wrong from the result of an experiment. Adriana, I am not going to wish you nor to anyone else to witness a dear person in pain to suffer for 6 months, having her and mine life turned upside down. However, out of respect to millions of people like her and for future generations, on their behalf, I respectfully ask you to be honest, to step down from your position and let someone else who can understand from calculation what works and what doesn't work in reducing cancer death and cost, and so they can take your position. This is for the welfare of humanity, and after what I have witnessed, I will work even harder in defense of the cancer patient. My requests are not to please me, and I have nothing personal against you, but in fact, I would like to help you to be successful in doing your job by explaining that my 3D flow 3D CBS detecting fewer than 100 cancer cells at $200 per test, administering low radiation dose, and the total body computer-aided diagnosis calculating the trend of anomalies in biological processes by analyzing data from several repetitive tests on the same person using the same device at the same protocol is what can maximize reducing cancer death and healthcare costs. Adriana, your position of power is giving you more responsibility to be competent to express your agreement or disagreement regarding the 4 items below. Please keep in mind that your evaluation is not supported by an authoritarian score. That is not what should give you power, but by the result from an experiment that will judge if you were competent or not in your calculation and scientific reasoning. Please express your agreement or disagreement supported by calculation on the following. Okay. If you and your reviewer have any doubt that it is preferable to detect cluster, means tumor, with fewer than 100 cancer cells rather than waiting for them to grow to billions of cells and metastasize to other organs. Tell me what you think about. If you could read carefully the 280 words abstract of the three references of the total body PET conference that I submitted, express any disagreement that will substantially invalidate my claim that the component cost of the 3D CBS is less than $2 million per device, with a 2-minute screening test at $200 per test, and the resulting benefit in lives and money saved. Express any disagreement with your calculation that will substantially invalidate my claims that the 3D CBS and TB CAD have a potential to save 260 lives per year per machine, reducing 80 times the cost per life saved and with the potential to save over 100 million lives and over $27 trillion in 30 years. Third, if you believe my 280 words abstract is reporting a work which provides less benefit than the other abstracts you approve for 40 to 50-minute presentation, let me know. In the event you do, please substantiate the essence of your and your colleague greater benefit in advancing science in the field of saving lives and money. I legitimately ask you and your reviewer to express your doubts or disagreement in public and to analyze and discuss with me the calculation and scientific evidence I reported in my book of the year 2000 that is 400 times improved PET efficiency for lower dose radiation, lower cost cancer screening. And in subsequent articles and the claims of the advantage of my invention endorsed by Nobel laureate, director of major research laboratory in the world, the inventor of the pocket calculator, and top expert in the field that you can find at crosettofoundation.org. Now, on behalf of cancer patient and taxpayer, I respectfully ask the organizer of the 2021 Total Body PET to let me present for 45 to 50 minutes my three inventions, the 3D Flow, 3D CBS, and TB-CAD, and to include the following question to be asked to the presenters during the roundtable discussion. You have foreseen 5 roundtable discussion, and here I listed when these are specifically 2 on the 23rd in the morning and 1 in the afternoon of 20 minutes, the other of 30 minutes, and then 2 round the table of 30 minutes on the 24th of September. I would like to ask the organizer to send an email to all presenters at least 1 day before their presentation, telling they should answer these 4 questions during the roundtable, because if they present a project, they for sure know the project and are responsible to provide a deliverable, an outcome, a return of investment to the taxpayer of what the taxpayer gave them as money. So the 4 questions are the following. What is your estimated reduction of cancer death and cost you expect to attain when your work, research, project, whatever, is tested standalone or in conjunction with other projects, and please specify which project if it's in conjunction with other projects, when you test this on a sample population of at least 10,000 people in the age group 55 to 74 taken from a location where in the previous 20 years the mortality rate was constant. If there is any change in lower mortality rate, then your project shows to be successful. If not, it was not successful. It was not successful. How does your project compare with Crosetto 3D CBS project that has a potential to save over 260 lives per year per machine, reducing 80 times the cost per life saved, and with the potential to save over 100 million lives and over $27 trillion in 30 years? Are there any figures or claim in Crosetto 280 words abstract, 3 reference and 1 figure that you need clarification or you disagree? And the 4th question is, because of the high stake in life and money saved by Crosetto's invention, do you think it should be discussed in every roundtable and forum of experts in the field to remove skepticism so that he can receive funding and test it on a sample population to accelerate the transfer of benefit from his invention to the bed of the patient? For your convenience, I report below this famous 280-word abstract that I submitted and was uh, hidden in a poster that not given the permission to present to the participant. Okay, so the title of this approved abstract is the following: Multi 3D CBS whole body screening tests, a revolutionary invention making diagnosis based on a CAD, computer-aided diagnosis, trend calculated on anomalies in biological processes rather than on a single examination for saving millions of lives and trillions of dollars. So this is the abstract that you gave the guideline to split in 4 sections. The first section is background, material and method, results and conclusion. So on the background, I wrote 3D CBS, 3D complete body screening, first true paradigm change in biomedical imaging, invented 21 years ago, confirmed by third-party measured result on the 3D CBS copy, is able to safely detect cluster, means tumor, of 100 cell instead of a billion cell, that is 1 cubic centimeter. Material and method. I am proposing 157 centimeter field of view 3D CBS, capable of detecting all possible 511 kiloelectron-volt pair of photons from the tumor marker at the lowest cost per valid pair capture, with component cost costing less than $2 million per device, and $200 for a 2 minutes screening test, and $1,200 for a 15 minutes clinical examination, in a 2 8-hour shift, can safely perform 360 times 2 minutes test, 8 times 15 minutes examination. It is estimated that 48 professionals per day are needed. Of these, there are 4 administration, 4 logistic, 8 nurses, 8 technologists, and 20 doctors at $400,000 salary each. Each doctor is supposed to read from 16 to 20 screening tests per day for 22 minutes and 1 clinical examination for 68 minutes. People must perform several screening tests on the same machine using the same protocol and radiation dose. To avoid false positive, the diagnosis will not be based on a single screening test, but on the computer-aided diagnosis tool calculating the trend of anomalies in several screening tests and radiologist experience. The first screening test provides a baseline. Subsequent screening reveal a unique hotspot showing increased activity and size of anomalous biological process requiring deeper investigation that will be done on a 15 minutes clinical examination. Screening tests before and after surgery detect if any cancer cells have been left over and monitor the recurrence at the early curable stage. The result: when performing 90,000 tests per year per device, or 57 billion tests in 30 years on 57,000 devices, built gradually in 30 years, this can save over 100 million lives and over $27 trillion. And all this is backed up to the very, very detailed calculation, and I will be pleased to go over for hours on this, and so you can check and verify. An accountant can do this, okay? So the conclusion: because early cancer detection can save up to 98% lives, and experimental tests on a sample population of this approach based on the CAD trends calculation over several 3,000 the 3D CBS screening test will definitely prove that we can save millions of lives and trillions of dollars. So why do we wait? Why do we wait to save lives if we have now the tools that can do this? I am also reading for the audience who are listening this your email that you sent me in response to my previous letter. Dear Dario, as communicated to you by the organizing committee, your abstract has been accepted as a poster presentation based on independent peer review scores. So what is this independent peer review scores? It means that they are anonymous, secret, and gives a score instead of telling some scientific reason. Like Galileo was saying, the Earth is not at the center of the universe, and he was providing the reason, the calculation. Here, I provide the reason, the calculation, and you respond with a score without telling any scientific reason. The e-poster section will append on the second day of the conference between 2:20 and 3 p.m. So 40 minutes. Like all other poster presenter, we would encourage you to make the most of this session and use this presentation opportunity to share. So I can meet one or two people instead of presenting to the entire audience and discussing and creating a forum and a roundtable debate. Please refrain from emailing other delegates, presenter, members of the organization, committee, or university member. And I don't understand this. If we talk about science, there should be transparency. We should instead extend this to all the world so that we provide the best service to the humanity. Why should we keep it secret? Science is not secret. Instead, if you have any question regarding this specific conference, please email to Total Body PET Conference inbox, and the member of the organization committee will be in touch with you to help. I wrote and I didn't get any help at all. On a personal note, I too know the devastating effect that cancer that having in one's life, having experienced that myself. I'm sorry to hear that, and I know exactly how hard this is on everyone. I'm sorry to hear that you are going through this just now. Kind regards, Adriana. And then she's reporting my thing. Okay, thank you, Adriana, and I hope that in some way you will listen and you will decide which best action to take for this, not for your career, but for the millions of people who are needlessly dying, and we should all work together to try to solve these problems for all of us, not just for our careers. Okay, thank you.